Hello there, one of my favourite times of the week. We team up with Planet Cruise and we bring you some dream holidays. Holidays of a lifetime, holidays that many of you may have been lucky enough to go on and many of you have just dreamt of. Well, today we bring them to you at very, very low prices. Let me take the opportunity to introduce you to Justin, who joins us from Planet Cruise. Great to see you again.
Yeah, great to be back.
But before we get going, maybe are there anything we should be looking out for in this particular show?
In this show, we've got two exclusive packages, fantastic offers. The first one, price is just amazing, but we have got a brand new river cruise line that we're working with. Emerald Cruises, they are the newest ships on the River Rhine, and we are going to be launching it today on Ideal World.
Brilliant, that's fantastic. So look out for that one. But we've got 6 cruises that we want to share with you throughout the entire show. Now, before we do that, let's take an opportunity to make it clear to you just how easy it is to get in touch with the Planet Cruise team, because you can call them, you can go to the website, they've got Facebook, they've got all sorts of social media going on as well. There's the number at the bottom of the screen. You might want to write that down now. The call centre is open. They're there ready to answer your questions. And one of the things that's important to remember is that these are bespoke cruises. So we're going to share a lot of information with you, but if you wanted a little time in a hotel before or after, or maybe you want a regional flight rather than the flight that we talk about, just call and talk to the team. There's no obligation to buy just because you call them. Or, of course, you can go to the website planetcruise.co.uk. Let's talk about why you should buy from Planet Cruise. There's lots of information, but one of the first things is the fact that they are all experts and they all have first-hand knowledge, may have even worked on board the cruise ships. Outstanding track record for customer service. They work with all the major cruise lines and ships worldwide to bring you the best of variety. So there really is a cruise here for everyone. They can tailor-make, this is what I was talking about, tailor-make any of the holidays, so they're bespoke. Think of it as bespoke. Just call to somebody and tell them what you would like. And buy a service, open 7 days a week for your convenience, and the best prices are guaranteed. And this is really important, your money is protected. Atoll and ABTA protected. That is so important, because you never know what's going on, so you want to know that your money is safe. Well, let's get started. Let's not hold off. We're going to go straight away to a big cruise line called MSC, the Mediterranean Shipping Company. What can you tell us about this particular line?
Well, Mediterranean Shipping Company, you know, it has got that really European flavour to it. You've got fantastic food on board, and the ships are absolutely amazing. We're hoping to be actually going out to a ship later on this year, and I can't wait to see it. It's one thing I experience a lot with P&O, but of course, you know, the Europeans, it is a completely more contemporary interior. You've got wine bars, cheese bars, coffee bars that are just amazing. And this particular itinerary that you're doing is classic itineraries around the Mediterranean. The actual sizes of the ship, they're not the sort of large, gigantic ships that you see sometimes from some of the cruise lines. So it's got that really nice feel about it that you're going to get to know some of the people on board, make new friends, perhaps actually cruise with friends that you've met before. You can see all the interiors as well. You've got all of the usual amenities that you'd have on board. Fantastic service as well. And of course, you can make use of all the spa facilities and enjoy the indulgence.
Beautiful, Justin.
They do, and that's the thing. I can't wait to actually see it. Really modern and contemporary. You still got all of your gym facilities on board to work off all of those calories as well. Fantastic sports, and of course all the open pool areas, and of course cruise wouldn't be a cruise without cocktail of the day.
Yeah. Now you might be thinking, well, £700, it's got to be a 7-night cruise. It's not. It's 12 nights. But this deal is only available until Monday. Please bear that in mind. This will only be available until Monday. In fact, I should share with you, a little later we're going to hope to talk to Hayley, one of our presenters. She's on a cruise right now, one of the cruises that was offered by Planet Cruise, and we're hoping to talk to her a little later in the show. Now, for £699, bear in mind that these cruises, they include your food, they include your entertainment.
Yeah, and you know, when you actually break that down, what it's costing you per night to see these locations. I mean, some of the locations, we were discussing this earlier on, you know, you want to go there, but you think, oh, I don't know whether I want to go there for a whole week.
Yeah.
But when you're going in there for a day, you know, perhaps you want to pop back there, you know, again, perhaps you want to cruise back in there again, because you've got all of that time in port, you can experience, then you're onto a different country, a different location, and that night you've got your entertainment put on for you. You know, some of the entertainment you can get involved in, some of the stuff you can just sit back and enjoy, just like a West End show.
So it's really a great way to taste, and in this case, it's the Mediterranean. We're talking Greece, Turkey, and even Croatia. Well, we start off in Italy.
Yeah, and Venice, this is what's the Bride of the Adriatic, and it's a beautiful sail away from Venice. You've got to get up on deck and you've got to get yourself a glass of Prosecco or something to celebrate the start of this cruise, because it is such a beautiful sail away from the Grand Canal. Then you've got Bari, which is Italy. Now this is a real rustic Italian old village. This is actually the Barra Vecchia, which is the old part of the town itself. And as you can see there, you know, you've got the old medieval churches. You can have a little bit of a wander around, see some of the local produce, you know, and really enjoy and drink in the culture that you've got from the Mediterranean. Then you've got a really nice relaxing day at sea, so you can make the most of the facilities on board the ship. And then you're into one of the biggest ports. You're going to love this. Book your tours early for Athens.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, you've got to go to the Acropolis. Perhaps you want to go shopping. You want to go to the Plaka, which is the pedestrianised area. You can see there, you know, these are the postcard images that, you know, you want to sort of tick off. That you've seen in your lifetime, so you can go in and see these places. It's just going to be brilliant for you to experience. I've actually got some photographs from sort of 10, 15 years ago up at the Acropolis, and you'll never forget those memories, and that's what's really important with
the Evzonis. I like to see the Evzonis. You know, the guys, it's like the traditional soldier, and they've got the big pom-poms on the end of their shoes.
Like the change of the guard.
Yeah. It's amazing to go and see that if you get an opportunity to do so. There's a lot of hustle and bustle here, but you don't have to go to Athens if you don't want to. You can stay down in the port of Piraeus.
Yep.
But of course, the main place to visit really is.
You're not going to go all that way and not go.
If you haven't seen it before, it's really, really worth the time.
Now, the next port, which is Turkey, which is Izmir, I haven't actually been to, but you've been to Izmir on business, haven't you?
Yeah, I know very, very well. It's a lovely place. It's actually in a huge bay, so it's set right back inside Turkey, and you've got the opportunity to enjoy really calm waters. Now, the beach, as you can see there, stretches for miles. You're going to have the opportunity to go and see some ancient places that are nearby as well, but it really is a big beach resort. If you like the idea of going to bazaars and seeing the rugs being made, things like that, then you've got the opportunity to do that in Izmir itself. There's a lot going on there, and that really will give you an opportunity to see, let's say, the newer type of Turkey. But then of course you've got the opportunity to see medieval Turkey when you go to the next port of call, which is Rhodes.
Yeah, and see, this is the great thing. You've got Athens, you've got a great beach resort, and then you've got another great historic site, which is Rhodes.
And they're all very different, aren't they?
Yeah, well, and of course, ancient site, because you've got the Colossus of Rhodes. This is one of the ancient wonders of the world. Just, you know, it's going to be a fantastic. I mean, look at that Mediterranean Ocean.
Yeah.
You know, those vistas that you're going to see. And, you know, this is just the tip of the iceberg, because, you know, we've got Limassol next in Cyprus, which is just, again, another fantastic resort that you may have been to. Perhaps you've been there on family holidays. I know Cyprus is a really popular resort. And, of course, with this, you've got the Greco-Roman ruins. You've got the Crusader castles of Cyprus. So it really is a fantastic location. Then you go into Israel. Now, Israel, you've got Tel Aviv, not too far from here, but completely different from this. You've got these beautiful gardens, and these are the beautiful Bahal Gardens, which are beautifully manicured. And this is completely different culturally. So, you know, you can see the hustle and bustle of the city, perhaps go up on the cable car, but when you go down to these gardens, it's that peace and that tranquility. And again, very multicultural, even though it's part of the, you know, that sort of melting pot of the Far East that you got there. Look at those gardens.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. Then you've got a relaxing day at sea, and then you're into Heraklion. Now again, this is another big port, because you're going to be seeing some of the ancient wonders of the world. So make sure you book your tours early. You've got Knossos, you've got some brilliant, the Byzantine Empire was prevalent here, so you've got a lot of ancient history. Some of the museums have got some of the rarest coins as well, so if you like to go and do your history. But again, another great Mediterranean port that you can wander around. You know, you don't necessarily have to go too much into history. You know, my dad loves history, but I'd love to see these sites and just take it in, just drink it in, the experience.
I think the beauty of this particular cruise is you've got the opportunity to pick a day that you want to go and see what you like. If you're a beach person, there's a beach day. If you like history, there's a history day. You've got the opportunity to do all of that. And of course, you've got the opportunity to see Italy, to see Greece, to see Turkey, and And then finally, we're going to be ending up in Croatia as well.
Yeah, Dubrovnik. Dubrovnik, lovely old walled city. You can actually walk the wall. So depending on how fit you're feeling, go up and actually walk the wall. The actual streets themselves, it's all pedestrianised. There's no cars or motorbikes allowed around. There's some fantastic shopping in there as well. You've got to go to the candle shop, one of the most famous places in Dubrovnik. So really, really good.
So if this is for you, £699. Don't forget though, this deal ends. This deal ends on Monday, so please, if you go, no, I can't believe it. That's £699. I would have thought 7 days. It's not. It's for 12 days. We've got dates available for you in September and October. This is all part of our mega flash sale, so take advantage of it, but it does end on Monday, as I've said several times. Let's just whiz through the prices for you. Again, you can write the phone number down if you think, oh, I might call them about this, and you can get the trip bespoke to your needs. You could have a few days in a port before, you could have a few days in a port afterwards. It's entirely up to you. 0800 781 5458, or of course go to the website planetcruise.co.uk. And it's nice going to the website because when you're on there, you're going to be able to see information regarding this show. You're going to be able to see information regarding the previous show, and of course, as you can see at the bottom there, you can even follow Planet Cruise by going to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I like YouTube myself because that way, Justin, you get the chance to actually see the hotels, see the ships, see the ports of call, and see exactly what's going on. So YouTube's a great way to stay in touch with Planet Cruise.
The actual content, a lot of the port guys are done by Keith. And again, Keith was a cruise director, I was a cruise director, and you know, all of the staff that you're speaking to at Planet Cruise have all had that experience. So.
Now, I did say a little earlier that one of our presenters was actually on a cruise ship. You're going to see who it is now. Hello, Hayley!
Hello!
Oh, no, she's got champagne.
You've got champagne! You are so cheeky. Are you drinking?
I felt I had to do it for you. We have the most amazing time. It's incredible.
So what ship are you on, Hayley?
We're on board the Oceana. It's the Riviera. It's the most beautiful ship. Our cabin is out of this world. It's amazing. The food is, oh my goodness, I'm going to be about 28 stone. It's gorgeous. The service is incredible. We're in a port every day. The weather's amazing here. It's a bit wet at home.
And where are you cruising?
We're in Toulon today. We started off in Monte Carlo, sailing out of Monte Carlo.
Oh my goodness.
Fabulous. We're going on to Barcelona tomorrow, then we're in Mallorca, and we end up in Rome. So it's an amazing
such a tough life, isn't it?
Yeah, that sounds like you must really be
just still a bit jealous.
Working hard.
I'm working ever so hard. Well, it's research, you see.
Well, I can still hear you, but I can't. I can still hear you, but I can't. I can still hear you, but I can't see you anymore. Hey, let's say goodbye to you. I really appreciate you calling in on your holiday. Thanks a lot. Take care of yourself.
Some good deals, Paul. Have a good hour.
Will do. Bye. Bye. I can't see. You know, it's like you get the old bad connection. Thanks, Eddie. She's still talking away.
Some people get all the tough jobs, don't they?
I know. Well, I get lumbered with this with you.
Oh, cheers. Thanks.
Come on, let's move on to our next cruise because there are 6 that we want to cover. If the dream holiday for you is getting to the Caribbean, then prick your ears up because this is perfect. Now, this is with Carnival and the Fascination. Now, we're going to talk about Barbados first because we get 3 nights in Barbados before we do anything.
This is the great thing. You're actually flying out to the Caribbean. You're getting chance to actually acclimatise. And if you've never been to Barbados, it's such a friendly Caribbean island. Of course, there's so much to do when it comes to water sports. There's some fantastic resorts. You don't have to go to the posh places like Sandy Lane to find a nice bit of beach. You're actually going to be in Bridgetown that you're going to be embarking the ship. And there's some fantastic bars and restaurants in Bridgetown. The boatyard was a favourite of all the crew members.
Yeah, I used to
go in there. So, you know, there's plenty to see and do. And those 3 nights allows you to get a little bit of the Caribbean flavour when the sun goes down. You know, just if you're perhaps on the beach I was lucky enough to fly out and join the ship one night early, and I remember actually sitting on the beach as all the ships were sailing in and out.
Oh my
and it was the strangest experience because, you know, you're used to being on board.
You feel like you missed it.
Yeah, or doing a sail away party. And yeah, you just see the sun go down, you can just toast with a nice Caribbean cocktail and just enjoy the climate. Nightlife in Barbados is fantastic. You've got to go down to the Gap, St Lawrence Gap.
Yeah.
You've got some of the greatest sort of live music venues down there, the likes that saw sort of the early days of people like Rihanna. So, you know, you really are getting some fantastic live music down there.
I'm a huge fan. Just think, in fact, if you've got the internet, see what it will cost you just to fly to and fro Barbados. That will show you what a great deal this is. Now, of course, this isn't just about Barbados. That's your first 3 days. Then we join a beautiful ship. Let's have a look at Carnival. Tell us a little more about Carnival, Justin.
The great thing is Carnival is the party cruise line. This is where you go to have
It's like Vegas
fun.
at sea, isn't it?
Yeah, they have, you know, everything is bigger and better, and whatever goes on board stays on board. It's great fun, and the ports that you're actually going to be going to as well, some fantastic ports. So, you know, you start off in Barbados, you join the ship, you can see all the fantastic onboard activities. You know, the casinos are massive on board these ships. The food, it's 24/7. The drinks, you know, you can see the fun that you've got with the flair bartenders
if I
and the
said you were in
shows as well.
Vegas, if I said you were in Vegas, you'd believe it.
Yeah.
You're on a cruise ship.
And that's the great thing. I mean, just look at the hustle and bustle that you've got in the restaurant. It's not quiet, where everybody's sort of just concentrating on the food.
Yeah.
They're enjoying it, and it's great quality food as well. There's different flavours for everybody, so if you want some noodles one day, great, obviously, American flavour that you've got on board. So if you really want to sort of indulge in some burgers or perhaps some Louisiana, some sort of South American food, it's going to be great. And of course, you've got all the usual onboard facilities that you can use to relax and chill out after your night partying and your indulgence. Great for families as well, because it's very family orientated. But it's the ports. Some of these ports are just simply fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that I was able to. I worked on the cruise ships. Don't feel like I cruised for years and years and years. I was working, but the vast majority of these ports we're about to talk about right now, I got to go in and week out, and I absolutely love them. Let's start off with St Lucia.
St Lucia, you've got to go to the Pitons, and of course you've got to try one of the local beers as well, which is the Piton Lager as well. So, you know, this is a lush
basically,
tropical island.
The Pitons are like well, you can see them right now, and there's
a
volcano behind, isn't there? Sulphur pits and things.
So if you want to go up there and experience it, you know, book a tour. There's plenty of beaches as well, because this is what the Caribbean's all about. It's all about, you know, just chilling out, having your flip-flops and having a nice cocktail. I'd recommend going up to the north of the island, up to Pigeon Point. You've got spinnakers up there. You know, all your water sports are readily available, all your jet skiing, all your snorkeling, and there's some great shopping in the actual town, which is Castries. One place that I'd say is go to Marigot Bay. That's where the original Dr. Dolittle, where Rex Harrison was filmed. There's a great resort there called Discovery. They've actually got a cocktail bar. It seems a bit strange in the Caribbean that you've got, and it's not, you know, the sort of stereotypical Caribbean sort of laid-back cocktail bar. It's a really nice refined one called the Giant Pink Sea Snail, which was obviously in the film, and there's loads of memorabilia in there as well. So really fantastic place to go. From St Lucia, you're going on to St Kitts. Again, this is really sort of rustic Caribbean. There's a great market called Port Zante, where you actually get off the ship. So this is where you can get all your local produce. And again, a small town, but great history if you want to venture out, if you want to do some perhaps jeep tours, if you want to go on the quad bikes, then this is the place to do it. Then on to St Martin. Now, St Martin is very Americanised. You've got a fantastic pedestrian area. This is where you get your duty free. So if you want to buy perhaps jewellery or watches, or if you want to go for the electronics, then it's great.
We dock on the Dutch side, 'cause it's two, isn't it?
I was
one side's
say,
French, one side's Dutch.
And the story, apparently, there was that when they decided how to divvy out the island, they stood back to back and started walking, and whenever they sort of met in the middle, that's how they divvied it up. But I think one of them perhaps had a slightly larger gate than the other. So yeah, so it's a bit strange that you've got sort of Dutch and French influences on St Martin, but a fantastic place. Then you go to San Juan. I absolutely love this port.
Me too.
Great shopping. Now, bear in mind, sort of, we looked at it from a different perspective as crew, you know, because obviously we were on board for a long time. But the shopping here is fantastic. You get some great designer outlet stores. There was one up in the old town where everybody, it was the American brand, I don't know whether you know what I'm talking about, we used to go up in there and get fantastic. And of course, yeah. I think his friend's called Lauren.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, but you could go up there And especially at the moment, the dollar is fantastic. So really, really strong, so you can get a lot of shopping for your dollar. All I'd say is take an empty suitcase, because it's going to come back full.
And one of the most beautiful rainforests in the entire Caribbean. Let's go on to St. Thomas, a US Virgin Island.
Yeah, again, this is obviously very American again. This is a fantastic place if you want to go for bars and restaurants. There's a whole strip that's dedicated to duty-free as well. There are some little inland coves. In fact, that's not too far from where the actual ship docks.
There it is, yeah.
You can walk in, but generally, when you're in the Caribbean, there's lots of shuttle buses that drop you in the town as well. So there's not far to walk. Have a little bit of a barter with the local taxi drivers. You know, if you perhaps get a day that you just fancy just having a tour of the island, that's fantastic. And can I just say, that picture there reminds me of one of my first pictures I took on a digital camera when I bought on a ship. The sail away from St. Thomas, especially if you get sunset like that, absolutely memorable.
And if it is beaches that you want from the Caribbean, then Magens Bay is there. Magens Bay, one of the top 10 beaches in the world, and that is on St. Thomas. Now, we've got a day at sea, and we get back to Barbados. I want you to bear in mind that this is a dream holiday for many, you know, a great time in the Caribbean. We're talking 11 nights in total, 3 nights when you start in Barbados. This is exclusively reduced prices for Planet Cruise. Reduced for Planet Cruise. Your gratuities, that's tips, they're included in the price, so you haven't got to worry about tipping, you know, get a little envelope at the end of the cruise and paying the bar stuff and the cabin stuff. That's all taken care of for you. Return flights from Gatwick, but of course if you want other flights, then call the team and ask them, because other regional flights are available. And then you've got that 3-night stay in the 4-star hotel in Barbados to start with. And look how many dates we got. We got May, we got June, so you got plenty of opportunities there. It starts from as little as £1,279. It is deposit only. So don't look at that price and go, oh, we're going to get that money together now. Not today. It's deposit only right here, right now. That's our second of 6 cruises. We're going to move on. In fact, this next line is the last line that my wife and I, we took a cruise on as passengers. Not working, but as passengers. And we love them. We're talking Holland America.
The ships are fantastic, aren't they? Which ship was it that you actually went on?
Now, we're going to start this trip, so we're going to start this with 2 nights in Venice before we do anything.
Yeah, which was the ship that you actually went on?
It was the Veendam.
Because each one of them has actually got a theme. So some of you, obviously, you've got a big Dutch theme, but there's one of the ships that's actually got a whole musical theme running through it. They've actually got a saxophone that was played by the ex-president Bill Clinton.
All right.
So
this is going to be the Rotterdam, is that right?
Yes, yeah, this is going to be on the Rotterdam. You're actually going to be in Venice because you've got your 2-night stay in Mestre. Now, Mestre is an industrial port just outside, so you get the shuttle bus into Venice, and then you'll be able to walk around at leisure. You've got to go and see the Rialto Bridge, go on a gondola ride as well, sing just one cornetto. You've got to do that. I tell you what, one thing you've got to do, when you get down to St Mark's Square, go and have a look down, obviously, the beautiful architecture down there and the little restaurants and bars. They usually have sort of a little string quartet outside. But if you head down past the Bridge of Sighs, you'll get to this little bridge, and there's a hotel called Hotel Daniele. And inside, if you want to go inside, it is the best experience ever. Marble all the way throughout.
Wow.
The waiters have got white gloves on, and they serve the best Bellini cocktails.
So we should write that down. Hotel Daniele.
Hotel Daniele.
Great stuff.
Just right down on the Grand Canal, just down from the Bridge of Sighs. And there's the Rialto Bridge as well. So obviously famous for bridges. Can't get away from them in Venice.
Well, don't forget, two nights you're going to get there. 2 nights in Venice. In this particular cruise, there's going to be an overnight in Istanbul as well. But of course, your biggest destination here is without a doubt the ship itself. So let's take a moment right now to learn more about Holland America.
Having recently completed the latest series of enhancements as part of their £350 million Signature of Excellence programme, Holland America Line's MS Rotterdam is an elegant masterpiece of naval engineering. As the flagship of the fleet, walking around it is an event in itself, with over $2 million worth of art and antiques just begging to be discovered. Whether you choose the class and sophistication of the Explorer's Lounge, or the elegant viticulture of the wine tasting room, or even the panoramic views and late-night club atmosphere of the Crow's Nest, there really is a venue suited just to you. But the most recent addition to Rotterdam is this, the Mix, and it's my absolute favourite. 3 speciality venues: champagne for midday mimosas and bubbles, martinis for Grey Goose cocktails, and spirits and ales for microbrews, single malts, and sports updates. Under the direction of Holland America's award-winning, Michelin-starred Culinary Council, the food on Rotterdam is simply stunning. You can eat at a set time or dine as you please, with restaurants to suit every mood. And here, in the spectacular La Fontaine dining room, they offer 5-course menus, an extensive wine list and impeccable service. And best of all, there's continental cuisine, low carb and vegetarian options. I'm a massive fan of Rotterdam's Culinary Arts Centre. It's a state-of-the-art demonstration kitchen offering interactive gourmet cooking lessons taught by master chefs. Then, after dinner, you can take your seat here in this magnificent theatre for some amazing entertainment featuring dynamic concerts, huge musical productions, full of Broadway veterans and some great guest artists. There's a wealth of spacious staterooms to choose from, ranging from great value insides to sea view rooms or even suites with private balconies. And all feature pure Egyptian cotton sheets, fluffy bathrobes, salon quality hairdryers, fresh flowers and of course your attentive stateroom steward. But my absolute favourite are these brand new lanai staterooms with direct access to the promenade deck. And you even get your own sun lounger. Brilliant.
Fabulous cruise line, really is. I love them. Best in all the years I've been cruising, our experience was that was the best food we've ever had. But let's talk about the itinerary.
Yeah, well, obviously the sail away, we said, you know, from Venice is absolutely fantastic, but you're into Dubrovnik. Now, Dubrovnik, take a look at these photographs because this is what you're going to be seeing. Such an ancient walled city. And it's just such a pleasure to walk around. There's no vehicles that are allowed in that part where it's all walled. So, you know, it's a lovely pedestrianised area. Some fantastic restaurants down in that little marina as well. There is the best restaurant down there. There's the best caprese salads as well. You've got to go down there. Mentioned earlier on about the candle shop. You'll find that out. And there's a lovely little market. You hit the right day of the week. There's a little shuttle bus that will take you to and from, so you do actually get to see a little bit more outside of Dubrovnik as well, to and from the ship. A fantastic port to start off in the Adriatic. Then you're into Albania. Now this is actually quite a new destination on the cruise itinerary in Durrës. Now you've got a lot of Venetian influence here, and of course you've got a lot of Greek influence as well. So it's really one of those places that's sort of up and coming. So you'll enjoy seeing that and being some of the first cruise passengers in and out of that port. But the next port which we're going to is one of my favourites. Catalonia.
Oh yeah.
This is just amazing. When you actually dock and get the tender ashore, you just, this wonderful square. It is just the best place. Quite almost where you have sort of Saint-Tropez in France. This is sort of for the Greek islands. And there's one place that you've got to go to. You've got to go to Lake Messina. Now this is an inland lake. It's actually in a cave, and the colours that you see there are just to die for. It is just amazing. So this is where the jet set going.
Turquoise blues.
Oh, turquoise blue. It's like those adverts that you see that you think your bath's going to turn that colour.
Yeah.
It is just absolutely fantastic. You've also got the cave network as well, with all the stalagmites. Which is just superb as well. So make sure you book your tours early on there.
Then we move on to Cataclon.
Yeah, this is the original. This is the ancient Olympic Games. So this is where they originally started out. You'll see the marble starting blocks. And again, if you really do like your history, then this is just a day of indulgence. Make sure you got your batteries charged for your camera, because you'll be taking plenty of pictures there. Nice, relaxing day at sea, and then you're into Heraklion. Now, you've got quite a lot of experience in this port here, haven't you?
Well, I guess it's one of those ports that it was our home port, and we used to go back to it week after week after week after week. And I love it because you've got the opportunity to walk from the ship if you want to into the main town, but if you wanted to, you can get tours and get around the island. Is immense. It is huge, so you can easily spend a whole day there. There's lots and lots and lots to do. But of course, then you go on to one of my all-time favourite. I would even go here for an entire week. We go to Santorini.
Santorini. I mean, just take a look at this picture postcard, the hillside itself, because the whole of Santorini, it's actually on a volcanic bowl.
Yeah.
This is where they reckon Atlantis is. Back in the 60s, they found a lot of archaeological sites.
More and more and more, they really do believe that this is the lost city of Atlantis. See the blue in the middle there? That's actually the inside of the volcano. It's flooded. Imagine a volcano where the water, the sea, has gone into the middle of it and flooded it. So it's called a caldera. That's the term that is used. But basically, you'll see it's a ring of islands, and Santorini is one of those, and that ring makes up a volcano. But you haven't got to worry, it's not active today.
No.
It's not active, but it's stunning. And so many of the photographs that you will have seen of Greece, those white domed buildings with blue domes, that is Santorini. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That is such a classic image, and it's the ships that are down in the bottom, right there in the middle. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning. But we continue our voyage. We then go up, actually, quite a way north, and we go to Mytilene, we go to the port of Lesbos.
Yeah, this is really renowned for its olive oil production, so if you want to bring back some olive oil, then you've got to bring that back. But it's the next port that I'm really interested in, Istanbul.
I love Istanbul.
Overnight.
Yeah.
This is just amazing. The actual cruise in that you've got on the Bosphorus, which is the river here, actually just on one of the banks, this is where the famous barracks were that the Florence Nightingale story actually came from. Of course, you've got the Hagia Sophia as well, which is a cathedral which has been Christian and, of course, Muslim. You've got the Grand Bazaar where there's 4,000 stalls. You can buy anything there. And, you know, whether it's carpets, whether it's suits, whether it's gold, whether it's spices, fragrance, it's just amazing. And to be there overnight...
You could spend an hour talking about Istanbul, you know.
It's just phenomenal, isn't it?
Dolmabahce Palace, Blue Mosque, the list goes on and on and on. But then, when you're sailing out of Istanbul, it's beautiful views, have your cameras out, available for that. The trip down through the Dardanelles is amazing. That is amazing. Hopefully the cruise director or somebody on board will do an announcement.
Because you used to do this trip every week, didn't you?
Every week, yeah. And the ancient city of Troy will be on your left-hand side as you're making your way south. But then we go on to another Greek classic. We go to Mykonos.
Mykonos, again, is at the moment a really, really popular island. It's quite a party island at night, but in the daytime it is superb. Again, sort of almost like Santorini, but not. It's a little bit more rustic. You've got to go and see the windmills. There's been loads of films that have been set here as well. The end of the Bourne Identity actually ends just by the windmills, a little bar. So Mykonos, again, all the white-walled cafes and tavernas. You just have a fantastic day walking around the streets.
I love that trip. It's absolutely stunning. And of course you end up in Athens and make your way home. Let's run through what you get for your money, because £899 is phenomenal. This is 16 nights. For $8.99, I'd be thinking 7, 8, if I'm lucky, maybe 10. This is 16 nights. Brilliant value for money. You've got your return flights in there as well. We can provide flights from many other ports. Just, again, talk to the team. Call them and say, can you fly from here? Can you fly from there? And they can organise things for you. 2-night stay in a 4-star hotel in Venice, and of course you've got the overnight in Istanbul as well. When we say overnight, you don't go to a hotel, the ship is your hotel. It's pulled up against the pier and you can go home anytime you want, or you can stay on board if you wish. Get out there, enjoy the atmosphere. Very, very affordable. That's under £57 per person, under £57 per person per night, and that is an exclusive package for Planet Cruise, so take advantage of it. But let's move on to our 4th one, because we've still got 3 more to cover.
And we've got
some
the
of these are
Emerald Cruise.
huge.
Yeah.
These are huge trips. Next, we're going to go to Royal Caribbean. A brilliant, brilliant trip. But we start off, we're going to start in Dubai. So let's take an opportunity to see some images and hear about Dubai.
Well, do you know what? The fact that you're actually going here and some of the dates that are available are just smack bang on Christmas. You have got one of the most amazing experiences. You have the city that has been born in the desert, and it is just amazing to go there. I've got friends that live out there, and they just said you just never tire of the different things to see. You've got to go and see the Burj Khalifa, which is obviously the world's tallest building, and of course you've got that wonderful hotel as well. 5-star? No, 7-star.
Holy mackerel.
Then you've got the Palm Islands as well. It is just immense. You know, and you know, anything is possible in Dubai. And again, you're going to get a chance to go to Abu Dhabi as well, which again, it is just one of those places that you would never ever believe possible. A bit like Vegas, you know, built in the desert, but this is where all of the money is. This is where you're shopping. If you do like your shopping, go careful. Leave the credit card at home. That's all I'm going to say. You're also going to get to see some fantastic ports on this itinerary as well in Oman, which we'll come to a little bit later.
Yeah, because we've got the 2 nights in Dubai, we've got an overnight as well, haven't we, in Oman? I mean, we get a lot for our money in this particular trip.
I get to say, I mean, we've got the ports, we'll go through the ports briefly, but, you know, it's like a bookend cruise. You know, you've got a fantastic time of the year because it's winter, so you're going to be going out and guaranteed to get that great weather. You've got Dubai, which is it's a lifetime destination. It's a bucket list destination. You know, you want to go to New York? Tick, done it. You want to go to Dubai? Done it. And again, to have the tail end of the cruise to come back into Abu Dhabi as well, if you've never been to this part of the world before, a great chance to do both of them in one cruise and something in between.
Well, let's take a look at your hotel.
I was going to say, the ships itself, These are the fun ships. These are the cruise line that everybody wants to be like. You've got some fantastic fun activities for all the family, for the adults and the kids as well. Great kids clubs. But of course you've got the signature rock climbing walls on here. You've got fantastic shows as well. And of course that real American feel of big and bold. Everything is bigger and better. You'll absolutely love the cuisine that's on board as well, and some of the entertainment. Now, the actual ships that you can see here, these are some of the medium-sized ships that are available in Royal Caribbean's range. There are the larger ships as well, but you get that flavour. I mean, literally, that's the atrium.
That is amazing.
Look at that. That's not the theatre. That is the atrium, and that's the great thing. That all of a sudden, entertainment pops up. Look at the silk shows.
Holy moly.
It really is non-stop, and all of these facilities, these are the signature facilities for Royal Caribbean. This is what has made this cruise line so popular with families and people that like fun. It is go, go, go and non-stop. You just really will enjoy.
Well, the interesting thing about that is you've got the choice. You know, if you want to find a little corner and sit in the library and read, you can do that. If you want lots to do, you can do that. And that's the beauty of cruising. I think sometimes people say, oh, there's too much going on for me. That's your choice.
Yeah.
You know, you can choose to participate. You can hide away in your cabin. You can go to the library. You can just lay by the pool and chill out. It's all about giving you much more choice. But come on, we've been in Dubai. Let's take the opportunity now to get on the journey.
The great thing is you're actually going to be starting off in Kazab, which is in Oman. Now, this is a small fishing village, so you see complete contrast of skyscrapers to small rustic buildings, and of course you can see the fantastic history behind Oman as well. The wonderful mountain ranges and some of the forts that you're going to see are absolutely fantastic.
Wow, look at that.
You can also then be in Muscat, which is the overnight on board. And this is just superb. Again, you've got the Grand Mosque as well. You've got the souks and all of the markets. So if you want to get some of your Indian textiles there as well. And this is the great thing. It's a real multicultural melting pot. This is one of the original trading capitals for the world.
Yeah.
This is where all the spices came into. This is where all the produce used to come into. So you've got all those fantastic markets and a complete contrast. Then after Muscat and you're overnight on board, which again, to spend a night overboard? Not overboard. Overnight on board. No, you can spend the night on board the ship, like you said earlier on, and that's the great thing. But just go. You know, you haven't gone all that distance not to go ashore. Then again, the
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. See, I hate to say it, I'm going to indulge. You've got to go to Ferrari World here. This is the biggest Ferrari garage and dealership in the world. There's some fantastic cultural things as well to do with some of the. I mean, look at the images that you've got there. You know, to see this part of the world is just going to be immense. But again, just like Dubai, it is one of those bucket list ticks that you just have to tick off.
And of course, then after this, we do go back to Dubai.
And then you go back to Dubai.
And we have an overnight. So you've got the best of both worlds here. You've got a beautiful hotel. You get to a part of the world that you may have dreamed of. Look what they did. These are incredible. That's an island. That is an island. Man-made islands. And it's just incredible what they've been able to do. Now, it is cracking value for money here. We're talking £879. $879 is brilliant value for money. We've got December of this year, so you can be looking forward to some winter sunshine. March of next year, we've got your return flights. Again, if you're looking for UK airports, then call the team. Just call the team. And you've got the overnights too in Muscat and Dubai. It's brilliant value for money. And that's what I love about Planet Cruise. They're going to build the cruise that you want. So just have a chat with them. We're going to move on because there's so much else to talk about. This next one is a launch, okay? This is the one that you mentioned at the very start of the show.
This is a real big launch for Planet Cruise. This is the first time we have ever featured, and in fact, this is an exclusive, inclusive package that we're going to be giving you for a limited time only. We'll go through those details in a minute.
When you say inclusive, then you mean all-inclusive?
All-inclusive.
Wow.
And the great thing is, with river cruising, it's a completely different style. But Emerald has got some of the latest. And when I say the latest, 2014 was the latest ship that was launched.
Well, let's have a look at one.
Twiggy.
Let's have a chance to have a look so we can literally see what we're going to get. You want to talk us through this?
John, the great thing about this, where we just come from Royal Caribbean and the large ships, this is 190-odd passengers. This is just 80-odd cabins and 47
like a giant
crew.
yacht.
Yeah, and this is the great thing, a completely different style. If you've done the Caribbean, you've done the Med, try a river cruise. In this particular part part of the world is fantastic. You've got wonderful vistas and sceneries.
And it's open decks. They're sitting out on the open deck.
Exactly, and you're cruising through. So if you
Lovely.
like cruising through like the Panama Canal, and like you said about the Dardanelles as well, where it's a nice relaxing day, but there's something to look at, something to see, apart from just miles and miles of ocean, this is the one to go for.
Right.
Food on board Emerald is one of their key attributes. I mean, the food is just superb. They've also got a swimming pool, an infinity swimming pool at the back of the ship.
What is an infinity swimming pool?
Basically, it looks as if when you swim it looks as if you're going to swim off the edge of the ship itself.
Oh, yes,
into the
in
river.
hotels, yeah.
But at night, the
So
actual
you feel
floor...
like you're swimming in the Rhine?
Yeah.
But you're not?
No. But wait for it,
Brilliant.
the actual swimming pool, the floor of the swimming pool lifts up at night and it turns into a cinema.
Wow.
It's just absolutely amazing. Wine is fantastic in this part of the region, and of course there is some great optional tours that you can do on board and do some wine tasting, because of course this, the Rhine, this is where you get the fantastic German wines from as well. But the ships themselves, they are all bang up to date, fantastically modern, and as I said, Twiggy actually launched it, and the reason why they actually used Twiggy was, of course, it's the icon, it's the style, the first, and these ships are some of the latest and greatest on the River Rhine.
Wow, these are exclusive to Planet Cruise until September the 1st. Take advantage of it. There are regional airports available to you, like Manchester, Birmingham and Edinburgh. But let's take a moment right now to get on this itinerary, because it is immense.
The great thing about this itinerary is that when you're cruising on a river cruise, you're pulling up and you're wandering around the town, but you're actually tethered and docked in port overnight. And that's the great thing. You've just got this great freedom.
Yeah.
Most of the ports that I'm going to
you
be
can
going through
come and
today...
go as much as you want, yeah?
Most of the ports we're going to be going through today include a guided tour around the location. The cruise directors, where you see sort of the cruise directors, I mean, you know what it's like. You try and be around a massive sort of 70,000-ton cruise ship. When you're on a ship like this, the cruise director is there all the time, taking you around the town. It's just great.
Where are we going first, Justin?
Starting off in Bamberg, and this is the great thing. You're going to fly to Munich and then go to Bamberg. Now, this is your first port where you're going to be able to stretch your legs and get out and see this wonderful part. A UNESCO Heritage World Site. Of course, you can see those wonderful old buildings that Germany is so famous for. There's around 2,400 listed buildings alone in this location, so again, make sure that your camera is ready to go there. Then on day 3, you're going to be going to Würzburg. Now, Würzburg is known as the Pearl of the Romantic Road.
Where's the river? I'm looking for the river. Where's the river?
You do join the ship there. Now, Würzburg, again, look at those wonderful spires. The architecture is just superb. Another UNESCO World Heritage Site that you've got here. And your tour today actually highlights the palaces of Würzburg. You see the unique staircase, 18th century frescoes and three-dimensional artworks that you just would never believe. I mean, to go and see this, how much would it cost you to travel for a weekend break to one of these locations and then book the tours, queue for the tickets? This is all included and organised in this cruise, and that's the great thing. Then you're going to Wertheim and Mittenberg. Now, this is a beautiful little village on the actual river itself. The old town is very Bavarian. So, again, if you love your beers, then you can taste that there. Koblenz is your next day, and Koblenz, I absolutely love Koblenz. Of course, you've got a fantastic cathedral here, and this is one of the famous castles. There was a toll castle that's actually built right in the middle of the river.
Look like Dracula's castle,
I know,
doesn't it?
that's the great thing. You see these almost sort of fairy tale castles.
Yeah.
You say Neuschwanstein is one of the famous castles.
Take that back.
Then you're going to go to Bernkastel. This is where you're going to get your beer houses and beer cellars.
Oktoberfest.
All I'm going to say is, Koblenz has got a big beer festival as well. All I'd say is, when you do try these German beers, they are very, very strong. They will give you a tall sort of schooner or a tall glass. You think, where's my pint? I think that's just a British mentality. But they are superb beers, so really indulge in that.
I love all this old architecture, isn't it beautiful?
And do you know, they do actually offer, I know we're not talking about this, we're talking about June, July, but there are some Christmas cruises as well. If you've ever wanted to do a Christmas in Germany, phone the guys at Planet Cruise and see what's available on this Emerald line, because this is a fantastic cruise line, and to see see locations like this is just superb. Then from Burghcastle you're on to Trier. You've got an overnight on board on here. You can actually explore the ruins of the old city and the baths there. And it's just, this was actually a hive of activity during ancient times.
Wow.
So you're going to really enjoy sort of the cultural side of it as well as the historical side of Germany.
And after that overnight, back to Frankfurt and then fly home.
Yeah, all I can say is if you want something completely different from ocean cruising, this is the one to go for. And so much included in that price.
Let's just remind you, £500 off the brochure price. It really is a brilliant deal. It is exclusive to Planet Cruise. You can see that £500 off there in writing. Free upgrade to an all-inclusive drinks package, but you do need to book that by the 31st of August. You've got until the end of this month to make your bookings. Return flights, but of course we can get you flights as well from Manchester, Birmingham and Edinburgh. Just call the team and ask any questions you've got. Let's go through some of the many highlights because a lot of this is all included. You've got your Emerald Plus activities, so we're talking about wine tasting, first class service from English speaking crew, you've got complimentary Wi-Fi on board, bicycles on board so you can use those when you go ashore in the day, complimentary tea, coffee throughout the ship. Of course you've got this upgrade, so it's all inclusive for you, complimentary wine, beer, soft drinks to accompany your lunch and dinner on board, and your gratuities are also paid as well. Now, we've got another cruise to squeeze in. One of my all-time favourite lines, Princess, because I proposed to my wife on Princess and she said yes. But we go to Australia. So this is going to be another dream for many, many people. But before we do anything, let's find out a little bit about the cruise line themselves. John was lucky enough to go on board.
Cruises first set sail in 1965 with a single ship cruising to Mexico. Today, the line has grown to become the third largest cruise line in the world.
Princess is known for being a bit of an industry innovator because over the years they've introduced so many new features and experiences on board their ships that have been so popular, other cruise lines are now copying them.
Among them are affordable balconies on many of the ship's outside cabins, as well as 24-hour dining, and a choice of dining venues and flexible dining times. Princess ships also debuted features such as movies under the stars and the Sanctuary adults-only Oasis.
In the fitness centre you'll find all the latest equipment, plus a range of classes including cycling, Pilates, yoga, stretch and abs. But if chilling out and being pampered is more your thing, then you might want to head up here, to the tranquil environment of the Lotus Spa.
With a menu of dozens of calming and rejuvenating treatments, the Lotus Spa is guaranteed to be one of the highlights of your cruise.
Throughout the day on your Princess cruise, the chefs are busy preparing your next memorable meal. All bread, cakes and pastries are baked 3 times a day. All sauces are prepared by hand.
Specialty restaurants include Sabatini's, Princess's signature Italian restaurant. The Crown Grill offers a variety of premium beef and seafood dishes.
But tonight's formal night and I've decided to eat in the main restaurant. As I'm booked on anytime dining, I can just turn up and eat at whatever time I like. Princess are known for their dynamic and exciting production shows with some of the largest casts at sea. Tonight we've got a 70s theme with Blame It on the Boogie.
All shows are produced in-house and feature lively music and stunning choreography, featuring one of the largest casts at sea. As well as shows, you can enjoy a night of stand-up comedy, a game show, a sing-song in the piano bar, a romantic dance, or just a quiet night with friends in a lounge bar.
Something completely different. How about a movie under the stars? It's a signature feature of all Princess ships and it's a great way to end the day.
We're just laughing. This itinerary is amazing.
It's great, isn't it? But we're not going to mention the Ashes.
All right, don't get nasty, don't get nasty. Come on, we've got an overnight before we do anything.
Yeah, and that's the great thing, that you're starting, you know, obviously you're flying out, so it's a great time to acclimatise before you actually join the ship.
Yeah.
But the places you go in here, you've got some really massive ports. I can't wait. I mean, save the best till last.
Yeah.
Sydney's in there as well, which we'll go through in a few minutes. But of course, you're going to be starting off in Perth. Now, this is a great day at leisure, so you can familiarise yourself with New South Wales. It's just a fantastic part. I actually remember when I did I know, just miles and miles and miles.
I've never been to Australia. Never got there.
I've only cruised once, and that was from the east to the west. So this is actually cruising west to the east.
That's one place I never got to.
Completely different climate, actually. So just make sure that you just got a hoodie. Remember, of course, this is Australia. Everything's nice and relaxed. It's sort of like, you know, go down to the beach for a barbie. I'm not going to do the accent. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah,
then you're going to be moving on to Geraldton. Now, this is actually part of the Batavia coast. And this is a really famous port that you've got there. This is where all the Australians actually go for their holidays. So this is actually a big vacation port locally itself. You've got Coronation Beach, which is famous for windsurfing. So you've got to go there. And, you know, if you're in Australia, you've got to try and get on a surfboard at some port. You know, you've got to try and do it. Then you've got a couple of relaxing days at sea. Of course, you've got fantastic weather at this part of the Southern Hemisphere. And then you're going to be going into Broome. Now, this is a famous port for pearls. There's a lot of pearl diving going on there.
Wow.
And you'll actually see some of, obviously, the riches
Colour of that water,
of that.
Justin.
I know. When you see some of these places, it is just superb. A lot of history as well from the Second World War with the Japanese, the Chinese, and Aboriginal.
Are they camels?
Yep, they've got a camel tour.
I never realised that. I think kangaroos. I never think camels. Australia.
I know, you've got kangaroos and koalas coming in Sydney.
Wow.
You got plenty more. Then you've got the Kimberley coast, which is a day cruising. So like the Dardanelles, like we've got a whole day cruising the coast. You've got there. Then you're going to be going into Darwin. Now, of course, this is famous for HMS Beagle. This is named after the famous Charles Darwin, who was on board.
That's what I'm expecting.
There you go. There's the kangaroo. This is where you've got the Botanical Gardens, the Darwin Botanical Gardens. But this is also where they have the famous beer can regatta. Because apparently, each one of the locals consumes, on average, 60 gallons of beer a year. And they actually use the cans to make these like rafts, and then they have this whole regatta. So it's crazy. Then you've got another couple of days at sea, and then you're into Yorkneys Knob. Now this is where you're going to go to the Coranda Sky Rail and the Scenic Railway. You can take it easy by going on the railway and see some of the rainforest, or you can go up into this fantastic canopy where you've got, it's almost like a tree house. The Sky Rail that you go through, it's just fantastic there. And of course you've got the Great Barrier Reef. You've got to go and snorkel and see some of the fantastic coral life that's there in that port. Then you've got a relaxing day at sea and a little bit of a break away from Australia to Papua New Guinea. Now this, of course, again, lots of history here from the Second World War, so if you want to do some of the historical side, you can do. But again, it's seeing something that is completely different, a way of life. You'll see culture there that you wouldn't see anywhere else. Then you're off to Brisbane. Now this,
look
again...
at that journey, just looking at that where you've cruised, that's unbelievable.
I know, and when you think of the size of Australia, you think how many times the UK would actually fit in there. Of course, Brisbane itself, the actual city, very cosmopolitan.
Beautiful.
But then you've got famous places like the Steve Irwin Zoo, as well, the crocodile hunter that sadly passed away. Of course, you've got the Great Barrier Reef there again. And you've also got Castlemaine Forex, the famous, there's the brewery there. So if you want to go to the brewery or the ale house, that's where you want to go on the tour. You've got 26 miles of beaches, resort hotels, restaurants, shopping malls, casinos, luxury homes, and golf courses. So if you're a keen golfer, then make sure you get around in Brisbane.
No wonder people fall in love with Australia.
Yeah. The last port called save the best till last, Sydney. I was so lucky to spend my 25th birthday in Sydney, flying out. You dock right next to the Sydney Opera House. Literally, just to the right-hand side of the picture there, you've got the Sydney Opera House. And if you haven't been before, you won't realise how close the bridge is, the famous Rusty Hanger, is what the locals call it. You can actually walk that bridge as well. You're all attached. It's a really safe and enjoyable, quite easy thing to do as well. Of course, just in that local area, that vicinity, you've got the Rocks as well, which is where all the convicts actually landed, but now is the cool and trendy part of Australia. Then you've got a massive marina where you've got all the casinos. One of the cleanest places I've ever been. Go to St James's Park as well, and there's the Sky Tower as well. Some really good shoppings at goings as well. So
there's your home for the entire trip. 23 nights,
ship.
more than 3 weeks. Come on, the deposit only on this. This is a dream come true for so many people. Take advantage of it. You know, £2,599, but it's for 23 nights. You're flying all the way to Australia and you're flying all the way back as well. It's a brilliant opportunity for you. Don't miss out on this. The end date we've got available for you is 28th of April. If there's other dates you're interested in, call the team. 0800 781 5458. Return flights are included in that price. You can get supplementary from regional airports if you want to talk to the team. And of course, you've got those 2-night stays in the 4-star hotels in both Perth and Sydney. Let's do a quick recap because we've had so much to share with you. Some of these cruises very, very long, so lots of ports called for Justin to cover, but he's done so very well. Let's remind you of our very first cruise. It was MSC, the Mediterranean Shipping Company. This was a great, great trip for you. If you're thinking, I want it, £699. So very, very affordable. From £699, you just can't go wrong. You might be thinking, well, that's got to be for a 7-day cruise. No, 12-night cruise. Don't miss out on it. But that deal ends on Monday, so if you want it, you do need to call the team, and that's under £59 per person per night. Your lead date on that is the 22nd of October. That is part of the mega flash sale, and that does end on Monday. Then, of course, our second one was Carnival. That was aboard the Fascination. 3 nights in Barbados before you do anything. And then, of course, you went to St. Lucia, St. Kitts, St. Martin, San Juan, Puerto Rico. St. Thomas is absolutely amazing. These are exclusive reduced rates. Do not miss out on that trip. If you've ever wanted to go to the Caribbean, there's your chance to do it. Write down that phone number while it's still on the screen. Gratuities are included on that trip as well. Then we went to Holland, America. We went on board the Rotterdam. And we were lucky enough to learn about Croatia, Albania, about Greece, about Turkey. Oh, don't forget we got to see Santorini, that beautiful Greek island, and of course Mykonos, but don't forget there's also an overnight in Istanbul on this trip as well. Overnight in Istanbul, and of course you go back to the ship anytime you like. Then we have Royal Caribbean, Splendour of the Seas. This was an opportunity to go out to the Middle East. Overnights in Oman and Dubai. Cracking value at £879, and most regional airports are available too. Just call the team and tell them that you want to fly from somewhere in particular. Deposit only too, so it really is very, very affordable. Now there's that brand new launch that we got so excited about, brand new. It's exclusive to Planet Cruise until September the 1st. It is absolutely brand new. We've got £500 off of that brochure price as well. Free upgrade to free, all inclusive, as long as you book by the 31st of August. So you need to do that as soon as you can. And then of course we squeezed in that last one as well, and we took you all the way over to Australia. Perth to Sydney. What a brilliant opportunity. And of course somewhere in the middle we got to see Yorkeys Knob as well. £2,599. It's brilliant value for money. Hey Justin, I don't know how you remember all the information you do, but it's an absolute joy. Let me say thanks to you.
Back. And is Hayley back next week, or is she just going to stay on the ship and just enjoy that glass of champagne?
I have no idea. She looked way too happy to be coming back. We gave you the phone number several times throughout the show. Don't forget you can go to the website as well. That's planetcruise.co.uk. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed your company. Just call the guys. Any questions you feel we didn't answer, call the guys. See you again soon.